Hey, what's up everybody? This is Chris with the Rim, and in this video we're going to talk about your brand's personality and why it's important to have it in your brand guideline. So with that being said, we're just going to hop right into it. Let's go. Alright, so first and foremost, defining your brand's personality actually helps you establish like human-like traits for your brand. So once you're able to establish those human-like traits, once you're able to define human-like traits that resonates with your audience, then it makes your brand even more impactful than it was before. Because again, you're now reinforcing those characteristics that your audience has right back onto them. So it's in essence mirroring. They call it mirroring, but it's mirroring your audience. Like, who is your audience? Then you're gonna give that right back to them so it resonates with them, so they feel like, hey, I know you, I know this person, I know this brand. So very, very important, but more than anything, it's very memorable to the consumer, because like, hey, I remember this brand. It just resonated with me so strongly that I already know I want to rock with them. So that being said, also with the personality, it helps you establish consistency across the board. So that's from marketing, that's from blog posts, that's from radio ads, whatever the case may be. That's from podcasts. You're able to remain consistent with your personality, right? So across all communication channels, and that's social media included. All of these communications, you want to keep that same type of personality, because of your personality is your personal brand, but your brand's personality is also its own entity, and you want to learn how to define your brand's personality separate from your own personality. Again, they can kind of be similar, but at the same time you want to be able to define that, because again, you want to be that mirror to your actual audience, right? And this also helps with like customer service and interactions with your actual audience. When they call for customer service, or they walk in the front door, if you have a brick and mortar, they walk in the front door, they're greeted by a friend. They are greeted by somebody they consider an ally to their beliefs, what they consider strong beliefs or consider important, right? And then it also helps you tie in, again, your audience's preference. Kind of like I was just saying before, like what's important to them. Like, you're able to align with what they feel is important. Like if your audience feels that, humanitarian acts are important, well, through your brand you might communicate like, hey, for every time a customer works with us, we give in a humanitarian effort on this front, because that's important with them. You're speaking to things that are important to them, so it's very, very important, so you can hit your target audience and by appealing to their taste and the things that they care about. So again, that's just a small example, but you can think of all of the different things there are many different ways you can think of how you can establish your brand's personality. One extreme is we just did the personality of somebody who's more of a giver. Well, maybe you have the personality of somebody who's more a thrill seeker, a skateboarder, or something like that. Like, just think of those two different types of personalities on their own. Like, you have two different types of personalities that you want to appeal to. If you're making a video for a skateboarder, that communication is going to be totally different than you're making a video for somebody who's more into humanitarian efforts and love and recycling and things like that. So again, they're two different audiences, even though sometimes they can blend in different areas. But again, how you market to one or how you communicate with one may be totally different than how you communicate with the other, and you need to be able to define that within your brand guideline, because if you're able to define that, you're able to share that with your team. Your team can also communicate that to your audience, and again, that it gives you the ability to continue to grow and grow and grow and grow while remaining consistent across the board with your personality, your brand's personality. So that's why it's super important for you to write this down, and hopefully this inspires you to do that one thing that takes you closer to your goals. Like I always say, do that one thing that takes you closer to your goals, and hopefully this inspires you, like I was just about to say, to go ahead and write down your brand's personality. It can be ever changing, it's not set in stone, but write down your brand's personality, understand who your audience is, and then put that into your guidelines so you can have it for your team and for yourself even. You can even use this as a checklist for yourself. When somebody reaches out to you, a potential client or a potential customer reaches out to you like, hey, I want to work with you, but my product is doing XYZ, and you're not even, you might not even be in that film, or it doesn't align with your brand spirit or your brand's personality. Well, now you're at a crossroads where like, hey, they're bringing on a project, but it just doesn't align with your brand's personality or spirit. So again, those are projects you want to kind of let go. Like, even though it might be a good payday, but it doesn't add another building block onto your actual castle. So again, it kind of also keeps you with checks and balances as far as what works for your brand as you continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. Some projects, they'll come in and like, hey, the payday, it seems good, but it just doesn't align with your actual brand's personality, spirit, values, etc. So with that being said, hopefully, like I said, do that one thing that takes you closer to goals. Like I always say, oh, you have a blessed day, lady, y'all. Peace.